Okay, no issues. So let us start. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so okay, so before starting, I just want to know what is currently what you are working and in which field you are working, so that I can have a roadmap from where I have to start and work with you during this training course
Okay.
or demo.
Yeah. See, actually, I'm an Oracle database administrator. Okay, technically, and
Okay,
I have around 5 years of experience in Oracle database administration. Okay.
okay, no issues. That is great.
Okay.
So that means
Back.
that you have the database experience. That is great. Okay, so let me write few terms on this presentation slide, and in
Mhm.
those terms, if you know some terms, please let me know. If you don't know, I will explain those terms to you. Okay.
Okay.
So I've written just the 5 words here.
Mhm.
So I just mentioned one more word. Okay, so I mentioned the 6 terms. Sorry. So
Mhm.
among 6 terms, I hope that you know few of the terms.
Okay, I only know one term, that is SQL. Okay.
Okay, so structured query language. So just so I start with the distributed systems. So first I will start with the distributed systems. What are distributed systems? Because you are learning a MongoDB, and MongoDB is a distributed system at the end. Okay, so you
Mm.
must know what are the distributed systems and how they work. So I will just start with the clusters. We have the clusters in RAC.
Correct.
In Oracle RAC, we have the cluster. And
Mhm.
what is the work of the cluster? The work of the cluster is to give you high availability or do the load balancing. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, so in the same way, the distributed systems are those systems where more than one system will share their CPU and memory to do some kind of a common task.
Okay.
Okay, for example, I will just give an example in simple human term first. If there is a construction work going on and I have to lift the bricks upstairs, what I will do? If one person will do it, will take a lot of work. And to take the brick up is my last work. It is my target. So to achieve that target, I will just deploy 4 or 5 people so that my work will be faster. And that 4 or 5 people have different capabilities, or might be they have the same capabilities. For example, one person is able to carry the 8 bricks at a time, and another is only able to carry 7 bricks or 5 bricks. So that means their capabilities are different. But what I have done, I have just uh, gather their resources, how much resource they can put, how much effort they can put to achieve my target of sending the bricks up. The same way we have the distributed systems in computers. What are the distributed systems? They share their memory and CPU to do some kind of the task. The goal of sharing this is to achieve some common target. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So where these distributed systems are there? The first, these days you are mostly hearing about one distributed system, that is the Hadoop. I think you have heard about somewhere that Hadoop is a Hadoop word.
Correct. I have heard about it. Correct. Yes.
Okay, so Hadoop is a distributed system. So now what happens in IT? The first, now I come to the big data. What is big data? Big data is a challenge. Okay, what is the challenge about big data? Let us come into that. See, if I ask you in IBM terms, there are the 3 V's of big data. What are the 3 V's means? That means actually the big data is a problem. And what are the 3 V's of this big data? Let us see and let us discuss this. three V's of big data. What are these three V's of big data? The first V says velocity. Second V says volume. And third V says variety or veracity. Some will say four V's of big data. They will just differentiate differently, write veracity and variety. Now, what is big data? Big data is not any term or not any technology. It is just a challenge. It is a problem which we are facing now to store the data. Why? Because there are the three problems. The first, the velocity with which data is increasing is very fast. The data growth has grown very fast. The second thing, when the data growth has grown fast, that means large amount of data is produced. That means volume of the data has also grown big. And the third thing is veracity. What does this veracity means? Veracity means that there are the different varieties of data. The varieties of data have grown bigger. And it is very challenging to store those varieties of data. So how can we store those varieties of data? It's very challenging. That is why we say that big data. Big data is nothing. It is a problem which we are facing due to these three V's. What are these three V's? These three V's are defined by IBM and also the another company. That these are the three big challenges which we are facing now. The challenges start facing from the 2005 with Google. Now, I will relate it to the MongoDB. Why I am teaching this? I am going to teach you MongoDB. And the question is, the first thing is there that whenever the data size has grown big and the variety of data has grown big, we have the three types of data. One is structured data. What does the structured data means? I am writing it here. Structured data. The structured data means that data which can be easily stored into rows and columns. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions come in your mind in between, please ask me.
I mean,
Are you going to wait?
just have a question. Who has defined these three V's? You said something IBM or something Google?
No, IBM. First, see, whenever you search about the three V's of big data, you will find different companies have defined. But first,
Okay.
the three V's have been defined by the IBM. Now, IBM says there are four V's of big data. I will just, you're able to see my screen. Why don't wait for it? See. First thing you will find three V's of big data. And first it was introduced by the IBM, then another companies also followed the same thing. Now the IBM says four V's of big data. There's nothing in four V's. They have just differentiated the two things, variety and veracity, nothing. And I just show you that some picture also there. It's just a picture. Variety, volume, velocity, veracity, some see these kind of things. 3, 4 V's, these are the common things. Now see, the structured data. What is the structured data? The structured data is data which can be easily stored into rows and columns. Like the data which you can easily store into Oracle, SQL. Because what Oracle and SQL do, they store the data in rows and columns. The second thing is semi-structured data. And what is the problem with this data? This data need to be modified. We put that data into data warehouse, we refine this data, and then store this data into this, then convert it into the rows and column and make them the structured data and then stored into the Oracle or SQL databases. Now, when I say this, changing semi-structure to structure, that means I need lot of effort, peoples and time. Effort plus time. And that is equal to cost, the more cost. Now next is unstructured data, which is the data which is very difficult to store in rows and columns. You ask me what kind of the data. So some data is lying in a Word file. How can you store that data? How can you store your Word file in some database? It is very challenging. PDFs, videos, all these things, multiple things have came. All these things have grown so much fast, kind of database, so much kind of data have grown so much fast that it is very difficult to store this. So changing unstructured into the structure is very, very difficult. So lot of cost.
See, the unstructured data, why do, I mean, we have logs and block data, right, in Oracle. where we can store even the photographs, even the resumes can be stored in the database. So why don't we
See,
use that app option?
there is, you can store them their way. Now, coming into the your things, your this question, it will be answered in the next line. You can also
Okay.
tell me there is the clustering, there is the distributed system also in Oracle. Then why need of MongoDB? These questions will be answered to you in coming when I just go to resolve these challenges. Okay.
Okay.
So this is unstructured data which is very costful and this kind of things. Now see. The first thing, no, I am going to define. I will tell you that whenever you create an or whenever you go to the Oracle, let us now see the differences. Why this MongoDB? Why this another form of data? These are the three V's of big data, and we need to store this. There was the challenge with semi-structured and unstructured data to be stored, and the data should be retrieved from them very fast. That was the issue which we are facing till now with semi-structured and unstructured data. That is why NoSQL databases and the distributed file system like Hadoop came into the place. Now leave this now here. Now I'll come to the next part. I will answer your questions. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. If I ask you to store some data into SQL, what you will do? The first thing, best practice you will do, you will create the schema. That means you define the table structure. You will follow that table structure to put all the entries into your database. Am I right or wrong?
Correct.
Okay. Now, there is a large variety of data and data is coming haphazardly. You don't know which data will come at what time. For example, your first row has 6 entries, but the second row which is coming from some sensor which is generated by some machine as a log, which is generated by your solar sensors, which no our fridge, we also gather the data from our ACs to monitor how to control the temperature of my room, buildings, our servers, the lot of the log data, sensors produced by Bosch and other big companies, and I will also go to the where we used it mostly. Just a large variety of data scheme, and now see another challenge, another where it is used. We have the companies like Flipkart, e-commerce companies, whose website is very dynamic. They need to change the website on the fly. Every day some changes are there. They change their application so frequently that if they require to change their application, they have to also change their schema. So it requires a lot of effort because data has grown very fast. They have to store large amount of data. And the second thing, the data is changing very fast. The speed with data is changing is very fast. Now, if the change with which speed with which data is changing very fast, every time I have to go and change my structure of the table, it is little time consuming and also the resource consuming. I should have one people who will change the architecture, scheme of the database and put again the data into it. Okay. Any questions till now?
See, I mean, like I have, it might be a basic question, a silly question too. See, when the
No.
data is, when the data is changing, why don't we have different tables of different structures? Why are we going with one table only? So, for example, as you said,
Yes, yes.
as
Your question
like
is
one
very, yes, yes. You can continue, please. Sorry for
okay.
interrupting you.
I'm saying, so for example, you are getting data from you said from sensors, okay? So probably like we can have a similar kind of table which is required for that particular type of data. And why don't we have multiple tables with structured data? And why don't we use that structured data? That's my question.
See. The first thing I should answer the question that the size of the data is here so much big here, which is coming that it is not possible for SQL database to store it. And even in the single table, if I have a single table, that structure of the table is changing so fast because of the variation in the data, I am not able to store it in that good manner that I can store it. I can store it. I have the option of storing it, but I am not able to store it. I am not able to get that performance. I am not able to get that scalability. I am not able to get what challenge of big data I want to store. See, no, I comes. Is your question right? See, the first thing. No, I answered your first question. That why we need this. The answer is that the most of the NoSQL databases are schemaless. See the difference. For example, no, you are going to change something in your application. You don't require the database administrator help to do that. because the schema is dynamic. Whatever changes will be made in the application, if new data will come, it will be stored automatically. No need to define the schema of the table here. The first benefit, what benefit that has given to us? The benefit which it has given to us, the application development is very fast. And whenever I have to change my application, I don't have to worry about my database schema. You can ask me that if I change my application, I can create new table. That also requires a human effort. I require the DBA who will help me into all these kind of things. I require some extra amount to create the table, to define the new schema. Then there is something where I don't need to give any schema. It is a flexible model. Whatever data is coming, it will be get stored there in the form of the documents, in the form of the graphs, in the form of columns. Then why should I take care for those kind of things? Okay, the first answer is that. The second answer is scalability. Let me come to your question. Now the next question. If you don't understand anything, please ask me in between, whatever you want. I am covering the basic terms, nothing now I have touched about from the MongoDB. I just touching the basics. Okay.
I have just a silly question. Like, see, so when there is no need of DBA, don't you think that the career with MongoDB, I mean, we have less openings for DB career?
No. See. I will say that you have lesser scope in MongoDB for creating the tables. DBA cannot create tables here, but there is very one complex thing coming to MongoDB. That is sharding, that is replication, that is the gridfs file system of MongoDB. Okay, I will just mention the three things here. You just Google it after the class. Sharding,
okay.
Replication is also in SQL, but sharding is the new thing there. Okay, replication, gridfs. Okay. Okay. There are more other things also. I'm just writing what the DB has to do mostly here.
Okay.
Next thing is sharding. We have one more thing. Sorry, the geographical indexing and sharding. With indexing. Just thing came into my mind. I just get it out. Just let me remember. Geographical indexing and sharding was there. Oh, backup and monitoring, performance, sizing. These all things cannot be done by developer. A developer cannot tell me what amount of size, which kind of a disk I should use for getting this performance. Okay, this is a work of a consultant and an administrator. This work can be done by an administrator or a consultant. See, at the end of the approach of this course is, if you learn MongoDB, I will not say that you will work as an administrator. You should work as a consultant, a DBA consultant. Because in this course, what I will teach you, it is not just like, oh, this command should be to enable the sharding, this command is to do the replication. No. I will touch you, we will go through in and out of. If I need this much of performance, what size of the disk I should require? See, 5 years you are working as a DBA. Even if for more 5 years, I don't think anybody want to work as a DBA. He would want to move into his career upstairs. So something like a consultant approach should be there. MongoDB is give you a consultant approach. This course, even if you go for the free MongoDB course, which is at MongoDB University, they will also give you such kind of plus points. How to size your DB, what kind of things, how should I improve the performance? Troubleshooting, that cannot be done by or admin guys. So a lot of things need to be done by you. But I say, as a DBA, the one thing which you will get lax from is to create the tables, to create the schema, to do all these kind of works. There is nothing required from the DBA. All these works can be created by a developer also, because there is no need. There is a very flexible schema in MongoDB. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
No. Yeah, we can continue.
Okay. So scalability. So what do you know by scalability? See, scalability is a term. If how much I am able to grow in coming years. A simple term. Now, how should I explain you? I will give you one example.
Okay.
You have one laptop at your home, which you are now using. That laptop have a 400 GB of data and hard disk in it is 500 GB and 4 GB RAM. Now, you want to run some application. For what that you need the 8 GB of RAM.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you will do, you will upgrade your server with an 8 GB RAM. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
The basic thing you will do it. Now what happens after some time, you need an application to run or your data size goes so much fast that application is hanging. He is not able to process that data with 8 GB of RAM. The suggestion should come to
Okay.
you 16 GB of RAM. But whenever you put the 16 GB of RAM into a laptop, it says I am not supporting it. That means what you have to do, you have to purchase a new laptop. The only solution is the thing there. This architecture of scalability is known as scale up. That means where you can, in a single box, you can add the peripherals to increase the to meet the demands of the growth. I will say to meet the demands of growth because data is growing. The application which we are using are or no they are more performance intensive. They need more RAM. They need more CPU processors. So your that system is not able to meet those requirements. So what you have to do after some time, you have to purchase a new system. This is the practice which is followed by the most of the relational databases till now. See, if you ask me, the relational databases are made in 80s, 90s, and 2000. Most of the development cycle of them was in those years. And that year, in those years, there was nothing a challenge of big data. They are not made keeping in mind that we have a challenge of the big data. They are made just we have the database for storing some structured data, some structured procedures, and for most of the transaction purposes. And if you tell me if I have to choose any database for my transaction and simple structured data, I will say you always go for SQL databases. Never choose NoSQL databases. They are also very flaws in NoSQL databases. But why we use them mostly in these days, and they are in huge demand because of their scalability and their schemaless like kind of features. Now coming to the scalability, this was the vertical scalability. So what happens? This happens only also in Oracle now, but Oracle is not so much matured in this because they are developed in keeping in mind only about the less data. Now what happens? I have one machine that is able to perform some task with 4 GB RAM and 500 GB hard disk. I think I require 6 GB of RAM, 8 GB of RAM and 1 TB of hard disk. So what I will do, I will not do anything. I will just purchase one more laptop at commodity hardware. What do we mean by commodity hardware, which is very cheap and has a life of around 2 years, 2 to 3 years. We don't accept lot from it. I can put that hardware into my system, into my tech system, bring into the network, just run one command from my one system. A simple, no partitioning of the table, nothing. Automatically all things will do. I will add into my database cluster, and what database will do? It will divide all the data. That means scale out architecture. The scale out or scale horizontal architecture. I will say that Oracle also have the scale horizontal architecture. MySQL also have. They do the partitioning. Whenever we find a table size grows very big, what we will do? We partition the table into two different rows. Am I right or wrong?
Correct.
Right, because you have more Oracle experience, I am very less experienced in Oracle. So when you do the partitioning of the tables, it requires human resources. You have to do it manually, all these kind of things. But when you have configured this sharding kind of thing, it is on the fly. You don't need any downtime. And the performance is coming is very fast. If you do the benchmarking testing between the Oracle and this what I can tell you that MongoDB on this kind of condition, MongoDB will win. It has an high on. Because of this performance going with the scale horizontal architecture, MongoDB is preferable for the NoSQL databases. The first thing, no, I will just conclude these 2-3 terms. After that, I will go to the most important term for any distributed system or for DBA to know is that CAP theorem. before, no, let me conclude what I have told you till now. See, till now I just tell you that why should we use the NoSQL databases like MongoDB. The first thing is they have flexible schema, or we can say dynamic schema, that we can change on fly. We don't need to give a rigid schema like the Oracle or these kind of things. The second thing is that they have the scale horizontal architecture. That means they can achieve, they can expand without any issues. Whenever their growth of data increases, they can expand, and the cost of the expansion is very less. If I have to install something in Oracle, I need very good server. Good server, good quality server, there should be some requirements, this architecture, this should, but here is no requirement. A simple server, totally running on the open sources things, I can run this. Now, two questions I have answered. Now, your question was that I store images, photos, and all these kind of things in Oracle also. Different logs, different things. What is different in MongoDB? See, the MongoDB has a one file system which is known as distributed file system, is a gridfs file system. What is the benefit of using gridfs file system? The benefit of gridfs using file system, it is very fast. Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I can
And
hear. Yes.
you can store as much as amount of data, amount of files, photos, videos in a single table you cannot imagine. It has usually with the latest versions it has no limitations. The first thing is that, and second thing, mostly the companies look into performance. The third thing, the cheapest way to store. Okay, Oracle license costs you a lot of money. Okay,
Yes.
so here there is no cost. You can even run all the NoSQL databases are mostly the open source databases. So you can run them without paying any cost. That is also the reason why the companies, like mostly, if you ask me, after learning the MongoDB, where should I get the job, or where should be the most of the project available for me? The most of the companies like Flipkart, Snapdeal, all these e-commerce companies who develop most of the websites now are developed on only MongoDB. Now, to understand this, we will in later classes see the case studies, why they have chosen MongoDB. When we finish the architecture of MongoDB, then we will go for 2 case studies, why they have chosen this. There should be Oracle also the best reason for it. There will be the Postgres also option for it. There can be SQL also. SQL is also open source. Postgres SQL is also open source. They don't have to pay money there also. Then why they choose MongoDB? We will see this use case studies. Now coming to
Okay.
the theorem, which is known as CAP theorem. The CAP theorem consists of the 3 terms: consistency, availability, and partial tolerance. What is consistency? I think you know consistency. That means there are the 2 terms to consistency. That what the first thing is that whatever I write, I am able to read that. The data, I should say that it is consistent data. Or in other terms, I can say that whatever rules I have applied for database, whenever it changed from state 1 to state 2, all that rules should be applied on that database transaction, changing from state 1 to state 2. Then I can say that my data is in consistent state. That means whatever I write, I should be able to read it following all the rules which are applied on the database. Second thing is availability. What does availability means? These days there's a demand for all the applications to be available 24/7. If any of the application is not available for some time, I can say that it is, 1 second, just I am receiving one call. It is important. Hello? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. ठीक है, ठीक है। ठीक है, ठीक है। ओके। ओके। Okay, brother, sorry. And the availability means that the application should be available 24/7. If my application is not available for some time, that means I have a business loss. The third thing is partial tolerance. The partial tolerance, I will say that the that I will be able to achieve 80% of the thing, not 100%. Even if I don't want, if I am not able to achieve 100%. So let me explain all these things with an example to you. And first, before explaining all these things with example, what I will explain you that in CAP theorem there is one saying.
What is that?
In CAP theorem, I am just defining the CAP theorem. CAP theorem consists of the three terms: C consistency, A availability, and P as a partial tolerance. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
CAP theorem states that for any distributed system, why distributed system? MongoDB is a distributed system.
Okay.
And Oracle REC is also a distributed system. MySQL cluster is also a distributed system. It is not possible to achieve all the three properties defined above. Only two can be achievable at a time. Okay.
Okay.
So I will explain why this is happening, that all the three properties cannot be achievable at the same time. See, I will just give an example. I try to explain you that why these three things are not possible at a time. I will consider that you as a one person of an organization which has very good remembering power. So what I do, I ask you, I am just giving an example. I ask you to remember all the dates, whichever person will say you. For example, I have a meeting on 25th. I will just say you, brother, I have a meeting on 25th. You just remind me before that. That means acting just like a calendar application. So what happens? I came to you and you are doing all your works regularly. That means the data is consistent. Whatever I am writing to you, I am able to read from you. If I am saying that 25th is my meeting, whenever I inquire from you, brother, when is my meeting? Because you have a good memory power. 25th is the meeting. Okay, that is done. So what happens? That means that means you have the both the things. You have the consistency.
Yes.
And partial tolerance. And partial tolerance means that you are able to tolerate the other. That means differences in the networks, because you are running as a single system now. That means there is no network breakdown in between you. I will just explain more detail about partial tolerance down the line. That means you have both consistency and partial tolerance. But if one day you are not present, that means nobody is able to know when there is meeting is there. That means
Correct.
completely lost. That means we don't have availability. I have achieved two things, but I don't have third things. So what I do, I ask one of my friends who has also very good memory power, bro, let us both work together. This business is working very good of making people remember and taking money from them and doing this way. So let us both join hand and work together. We can handle more customers, as well as if I am not present, we are able to give them service even if I am not present or you are not present. So now both of you are present, 1 and 2 are present. That means availability.
Yeah.
Okay, availability. And both of you are connected to the network and there is no network breakdown. Both of you are speaking to each other. That means partial tolerance is also there. You can tolerate the things. So what happens? What is the challenge? You are speaking to each other, but what happens? I came to you and asked, brother, my marriage anniversary is on 26th. And I go on 25th. I just go to inquire to B, not you. You were somewhere outside, gone for somewhere. I came to B and asked, brother, when is my marriage anniversary? You said to me, which marriage anniversary? You have never came to me. That means I have the consistency problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that means I am not able to give whatever it is written to the system. What is my motto as an end customer? Whenever I don't know, you are working as 2, you will work as a 3 or 4 person. But whenever I come to you and ask you that when is which, or by mistake I have to call you, I have called him. The call has transferred to him. He is not able to tell me when is my marriage anniversary or something. That means there is something kind of staleness. I am not able to read what I want to read. That means there is no consistency of data. I achieved the two things, but I didn't achieve the third thing. Consistency is not there. To achieve the consistency, know what I have decided. I decided that 1 and 2, both of us will share the data between each other after every 10 seconds. For example, in 10 seconds, one request has came. I will just say B, if he is sitting nearby to me, that I received this request, please update your calendar also. And if B received any, it will say that, bro, I received this, update your calendar. That means now the data is consistent. Even if I go to A, even if I go to B, I am able to find whatever I have written. That means data has achieved consistency. The second thing is that if now what happens, you both are present there. That means I have also achieved the availability. Now what happens one day, you both of your friends have a fight. You're not speaking to each other. He says that I will not speak to you in every term and condition. So what? There is a breakdown between both of you, a network breakdown. In terms of server, I can say that network breakdown. So to not make the business loss, what you have decided, both of you, that today you have just done a little compromise because for your business. That today no one of us will take a new request because we are not speaking to each other. But if by mistake a previous customer came to us and say that when was my meeting, I will say that yes, your meeting was on this. This. But if he says that right at you record, we will say no, sorry, today we are not present for this. That means we are able to do half of the work. We are giving the customer what they have given to, what request they have. But if they try to write a new request, I am saying no. That means I don't today have the tolerance. I have just a partial tolerance. There is no partial tolerance today. So that is why we say that PT is not there. So this frame, I will just share one document with you. If some terms are not clear by my speaking, it will be clear to you while reading the document on this CAP theorem. This is very important CAP theorem whenever you move to the high level of the data, big data, because all these systems now work as a distributed systems. Now what I got at the end, I got the three things that I cannot achieve all of these three things. I have to choose only two of those. The Oracle choose the first two. For Oracle, consistency and availability is very important. This is partial tolerance score. MongoDB choose C and P, and there is a reason for it. And you will when I discuss the architecture of MongoDB, you will say I am telling wrong. MongoDB is AC also, but there is a very minute difference which you will have to understand why it is a CP. Okay, that we will discuss in MongoDB architecture. I will not put lot of things today in your brain. So just to say that for any distributed system, it is not possible to achieve all of these three properties at the same time. Either he can be consistent and available, either he can have availability and partial tolerance, or consistency and partial tolerance. But at any moment of a time, he is not having all the three things. Okay? Any questions, please ask me.
No, fine. I might expect that's a material which you are saying so that I can clarify more by reading. Okay?
No issues. You can Google it. Is easily available on the Google. I will also send one document. See, I just try to explain with an example. Somebody is able to get my example and somebody not. So I didn't feel something that let me also put one document in front of you through the mail where you can go through this document and read it. Okay, so no problems on that side. Okay, so I just conclude today's demo session with these basic things. If you want to conclude, we can do with the MongoDB. So as an instructor, I will tell you which key things you have to focus in MongoDB is the sharding, is the replication, it is the gridfs, it is the administration and performance tuning. These 5 things are the backbones of MongoDB admin guy. If he knows all these 5 things, it will be great. He knows in and out of MongoDB. Okay, if you ask me the SQL, the MongoDB queries and all these things, I will teach you all those, but not so much important for an admin guy. If admin guy wants to learn something, he has to learn those things. Okay?
Okay. See, I have some questions now, like, so probably since we are concluding. See, I mean, what are the prerequisites of this MongoDB? Like, say, I want to seek a career in MongoDB. So, what are the prerequisites for him?
See, brother, the first thing is, I will say that there is no prerequisite for learning the MongoDB. Okay? Why? Because, see, somebody will tell you that you should know the Java. I will say that they are making you fool. There is one thing in MongoDB known as JSON. JSON is not a perfect Java. It is just as syntax, which you can learn in one day. Just like you're learning as an ABC, it is syntax you have to learn. Maybe ABC
Okay.
needs 3 days to learn, you can learn in that day. If you know the knowledge of if you have the knowledge of the Linux, it is very good because most of the deployments of the MongoDB are on Linux, but there is also deployments on Windows also. So no need to bother about it. Yes, the MongoDB shell is written in JavaScript. If you have little knowledge of JavaScript, you have a plus point in MongoDB. Then nothing else. Okay.
Okay.
No need to
And
worry.
yeah, okay.
About
And one more, like, see, you said like it's better to have when you are a MongoDB, DB, it's better you be a consultant rather than you work for a company. I mean, what does that exactly mean? I mean, I just got
See, what does it
confused.
mean? See, if I came to you tomorrow, see, I am a consultant. Well, I am a consultant for my company. So what is my role? See, any application which is coming, for example, I'm a consultant for Wipro. If any customer come to me and see that I want to deploy this application, I will go through his application details, and I am the person who will give a decision which database is best for you. And if which database is best for you, what hardware required for it? What is the sizing required for it? Which operating system will give him which performance? What kind of server will give him what kind of performance? What should be the rate configured at the lower level? These are all the infra details.
So in
And
order to be a consultant, like I mean, probably we might be much more experienced in MongoDB. Like, how many years will it take for us to become a consultant in MongoDB? I mean,
see,
like,
nothing more. See, I worked 3 years as a DBA. In the 4th year, I just started as a consultant for one of the companies. Okay,
okay,
because see, what was the thing with good with me? I will just say that I have the knowledge of infrastructure. Okay, and so
okay,
whenever I go for the classes, I teach all the persons. I usually give 6 to 7 daily classes on MongoDB, and also the
okay,
corporate trainings, quarterly snap-ins, and other kind of customers. The first thing I put effort on the infrastructure. A person should know the infrastructure. If he doesn't know infrastructure, then where it is he is going to deploy. For admin guy, the infrastructure is very important. He must know what he is doing and why he is doing. Okay, so why is doing sharding? What is required for sharding? Can it be done without a sharding? If it is done, how can I do it? Okay, if I have a very cheap disks, my company is not able to invest a lot of money. How can I give them a performance with those disks? If I am able to tell those things to the people, then suddenly there is more importance of my organization. For example, my company was only able to invest 2 lakhs for a MongoDB server. In 2 lakh servers, they are expecting more performance. So what thing I should tell them that their performance will increase and all should be get impressed? That things are in the consultant. He's able to see what is happening. He is able to take the decision that this might be the cause for this low performance. This is the cause for this thing. This database is not perfect. I should suggest them that they should use Oracle in place of MongoDB, or MongoDB in place of Oracle. They can save their cost also. They can also give them more performance and all these kind of things. See, I will not go more into detail into it. Once we start the course, I think if we start the course one by one and during the class sessions, it will be clear to you. So just let me know your mail ID. So I will just send you the course content for it. Okay?
okay. And one more, like, see, it might be, I mean, uninviting question to you, but I'm just checking with you so that
No issues, no issues.
we, the question is, well, can you tell me, like, why should I do the course with you rather than the MongoDB University which you said some time back? Okay? Can you highlight me, like, what things I can get from you, which I can expect from the MongoDB University?
See, the first thing I will tell you, I am telling you as a friend, the first thing you need a lot of patience to learn from a
Okay.
MongoDB university. The first thing, you will learn, if you have a lot of patience, you will learn better than me, what I teach you. Possibly the right answer I will see. The second thing, I will give you more hands-on experience.
Okay.
Okay, which is not possible from you by seeing video to do it.
Okay.
Okay, I will give you a real-time experience of sharding and all these kind of things, which you cannot do by seeing the videos and all these kind of things. Okay, this is the major difference.
Okay.
Once
And
the hands-on,
how about practicals part?
see practical parts, something it will be possible on your laptop or something you need my help to do practicals.
Okay.
Okay, for
Okay.
example, sharding and replication, you need my help. But for the rest of the things you can use your laptop. If you have a 64-bit machine, it is plus point, because MongoDB supports only 64-bit machines from the latest versions. Okay.
Okay. And what is the minimum minimum requirement for the laptop? Any minimum requirement?
Any 64-bit machine with 4 GB of RAM is more than enough.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, I just shared you
Okay.
my email ID, and let me get in touch base with the person who has involved us in here. Okay.
Okay. No issues.
Uh,
No issues. No issues, brother.
and I mean, see, actually, since I'm working in the night shifts, so probably like we might need to find some time which overlaps you and me. Okay. So,
So
what are the
see,
times?
you discuss with him. I will just share my timeline sheet with you. What time I am
Okay.
free? Okay, if you find that any time is suitable for you, might be I have to shift other class to that time. I will let you know.
Okay.
So I will just share my timeline sheet with you. Okay,
Okay. Yes, yes.
through the mail. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.